Oh, ah! Hello, I'm Florentina Faconti, and today I'm finally going to be telling you my top 10 movies that were released in the UK in 2021. I've made video reviews of all except 3 of the films that I'm going to be talking about because they came out in December and I was otherwise occupied. But I'll leave the link for all of those videos in the description if you want my more detailed thoughts on the other 7. But let's get to it. Number 10 is Romeo and Juliet. If you told me at the start of 2021 that a film version of Romeo and Juliet would make my top 10 for the year, I would have laughed in your face. Because I've said it quite a few times. I'm a big fan of Shaky P, but I don't like Romeo and Juliet. But this adaptation of it was brilliant. I mean, there were a few cuts here and there that I didn't exactly agree with, but the cast were brilliant. Josh O'Connor, Jessie Buckley, Tamsin Gregg, Adrian Lester, to name just a few. Another reason that I absolutely loved it was that it was filmed on and backstage at the Littleton at the National Theatre. And it was directed by an exclusively theatre director who was learning on the job. He'd never done film before. So it was really cool to see all these theatrical aspects coming into it that you wouldn't get with a normal film adaptation of a play. I thought it was fabulous. It really blew me away. And if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because it's proper good. Number 9 is Together. Again, great cast with James McAvoy and Sharon Horgan. I just felt so immersed in it. It made me laugh, it made me cry. I just felt like I was in that house with them and they were talking specifically to me. And I just felt so involved with their conversations. It's one of the many pandemic productions that was actually about the lockdowns, but I think it's the one that did it the best and just gripped me the most. Now onto the more mainstream films, all of which were released in cinemas. Number 8 is The King's Man. Now this one had really mixed reviews, and although I do agree that it was a little bit cheesy and predictable at times, I absolutely loved it. I love the Kingsman films, so to get more history behind the whole thing was so interesting. And the history nerd in me was absolutely living for all the references to the World War I setting with like all the real people and like the dramatic irony of Franz Ferdinand, and you had Risa Fans as Rasputin, who was incredible, and you had Tom Hollander playing all 3 of the cousins, King George V, Kaiser Wilhelm and Tsar Nicholas. It was so good. I was so happy it was Tom Hollander. And with the absolutely phenomenal Ralph Fiennes leading the film too, I just think it couldn't have put a foot wrong for me with that cast, the history, just everything. I absolutely loved it. I was just so excited. I was fully invested for the whole thing and I can't wait to watch it again and see like more references that I missed the first time. Number 7 is The Suicide Squad. My opinion of this one has changed over time because the first time I watched it, I loved it, but I had some problems with it. But the second time I watched it, I didn't care about the problems as much because I just had fun with it. It was really entertaining. So I'm excited to watch it for a 3rd time and a 4th because I feel like I'm just going to love it even more. I'm not really a huge DC fan, so a lot of those films I tend to avoid because they just don't really grip me. I love the characters, but the films don't do it for me. But this was really refreshingly different and it was exciting. And I'm really hyped to see more from these characters. Well, the ones that survived. Number 6 is The French Dispatch. What is on my leg? Now this one was a surprise because I knew I was going to love it, but I didn't know it was going to make my top 10. Like, as soon as I saw it, I just fell in love with this film. The cast was huge, but the whole ensemble was so great and really made this film something special. I think maybe if it was just one of the stories for the whole duration of the film, I probably wouldn't have loved it as much. But the anthology aspect to it really kept me interested and I was just so involved in it. Number 5 is Cruella. There are so many reasons why I loved this one. The cast, the London setting, the soundtrack, the fashion, the bloody everything. I mean, I didn't come out of the cinema thinking like, whoa, that's the best Disney film I've ever seen. But I really loved it. I thought it was really impressive how sort of different it was. It was a big surprise. And I kept wanting to go back to the cinema to watch it. It was so good. Number 4 is In the Heights. Yeah, here are the musicals. Of course they're up at the top. I absolutely loved this one, but I did have issues with some of the changes that they made. And not that it spoilt my enjoyment of it, but I kind of sat there like, oh, that's different. I don't like that. I just feel like I can't give it more than a 9 out of 10. So it's just sort of stuck in the middle of my top 10. Just, I don't know. I can't bring myself to give it a perfect score because there are moments where I'm like, no. But this is such a great musical, and I'm so glad that we finally have a film version of it because I have loved it for years. So I'm really happy people are discovering it now and falling in love with it too. Number 3 is Last Night in Soho. Surprise, surprise, Edgar Wright released a film and it made my top 10. I was so hyped about this one even when it was in production, so I knew that I was going to absolutely love it. I know some people had some issues with the script and the ending, but honestly, I didn't care. I thought it was great. Like, Edgar Wright is a genius. Like, I am in awe of that man. He's just so good. But like, the acting was great. I thought the script was great. The London setting again. And a surprise cameo from Sam Claflin. So what more could you want? I loved it. At number 2 is Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not going to talk about spoilers, so don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. You probably already know. But yeah, after I saw that film, it took me a full 24 hours to actually recover. I was so hyped, and honestly I didn't really care about the rumours. I was just happy we were getting another Tom Holland Spider-Man film, and also Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be in it, and anything more than that was a bonus. It was everything that I wanted and more. I have never flailed about so much in the cinema. Like, oh my god, anytime something exciting happened, like a big reveal or just like a little reference to something, I was like... And as I came out of the cinema, I thought, right, this is my favourite film of the year. It won't be topped. Until I saw my number 1 film, West Side Story. This is how you make a movie musical. Like, Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner, thank you so much. Yes, they made a lot of changes, but in my honest opinion, they made it better. I haven't seen the original stage production, so all I've got as frame of reference is the original film, but I was really happy with it, and so was Stephen Sondheim. So I watched it just after I had COVID, so I was exhausted. I didn't have my reviewing hat on. The hat that I had on was more, I'm gonna cry at every instrumental moment and dance break. I cried at the initial whistle. Like, I would do it, but I can't whistle. Goosebumps, yes. And then all through the prologue. And then I recovered, and then it got to the dance at the gym, and you hear the and I was welling up a little bit, and then it got to Mumbo, and I was gone. And then the same thing happened in America, and it just happened. Anytime someone danced, I cried. They were all happy tears because I was like, this is so wonderful. This film made me so happy. And anytime I thought about it or tried to put my thoughts into words for like the next week, I got emotional. I will make a proper review about it, and I will put that up probably around the same time it comes around streaming or like to buy, because I need to watch it again because I was just blown away and seduced by everything. So yeah, that was my top 10 for the year that were released in the UK. I'm stressing that because you guys got a few more films than us in America last month. I'm still waiting for Sing 2. I'm so excited. But I have watched over 120 films that were released in 2021, and I have a ranking of all of them on my Letterboxd, so I will leave the link to that list in the description. And my profile link will also be down there, so go and follow me and check out what I'm watching in 2022. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want more of this, but as always, stay safe and look after yourselves. Bye!